So in your opinion, Emilia, should every company, like every SaaS company, have a partner program?
Yes, 100%. It's my simple, short answer to that question.
Yeah. So let's elaborate a little bit. Like, why do you think that is?
No, but I think, not leveraging your network. So the ecosystem around you, your customers, the people friends, family, in order to grow your company at a faster pace and get happier customers. That in my world is just plain stupid. So I think independently of where you are in your growth journey, I think leveraging that ecosystem, you have to start doing it as soon as you possibly can.
I really like that word leverage because I think a lot of people miss out a little bit. Like it's actually what you mentioned, like actually being able to leverage, your contacts, customers, all that kind of stuff. How have you kind of leveraged partners at Oneflow? Like, so what have you been doing there to kind of, get things moving a bit faster?
No, but I think the partner program at Oneflow started very organically, as for most SaaS companies. And in the beginning, it was very reactive. So it was driven from customer requests or prospect requests. And it started with more or less only technical or integration partners to be able to sell to a specific segment or a customer group, or just to get faster time to value, or just to be relevant really in conversations with customers and prospects. Yeah, started very reactive. And that kind of prompted us to have the discussions around, okay, so we have the integration in place, but how can we leverage this to gain more customers faster, and maybe also help our partner on the other side grow a bit by leveraging the technical integration and the relationship that we're kind of building as we're creating this technical integration. So that's how it started here at Oneflow.
I guess quite typical, like when you're starting up, as a startup, you're growing and you're just kind of being a bit reactive in the beginning. I guess that's quite common, and you kind of figure things out as you go along.
Yeah.
I would say. So with that, where did it start? Like, how did you kind of, when you just got started with it? Because I know a lot of companies, they kind of have a partner program, or they're doing a little bit of affiliate partner stuff like that, but they're not really, I would say, like spending a lot of time on it, or not enough to actually make it worthwhile. And they might then kind of disqualify it as something that is not for them, or that is not a big part of their their growth strategy, so to say. I believe they're missing out a lot, as you mentioned there, with finding the leverage. But what is your opinion there? Like, are people missing out? Like you said, everyone should have a partner program, but diving a little bit deeper into that one.
No, but the way that we see it here at Oneflow, and sort of my also personal strong belief, is that it's a revenue stream as important as outbound or inbound. So like asking me that question, should you have a partner program, is like, should a SaaS company have a marketing department? Should you do marketing to get inbound leads? Yes, you should. Yes, you should have a marketing department yes, you should have a partnership team to get partner leads and use that nearbound revenue stream. That's how we view it here at Oneflow. It's just another revenue stream. We have sales doing outbound, we have marketing doing inbound, and we have partners doing nearbound, to use a very modern and new terminology.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, nearbound. I think it was Partner Hacker or Partner Stack and Reveal that kind of founded that term. I think it's just a spin-off of inbound and outbound. It's just a fun new word, but we started adapting it a lot here at Oneflow, and I kind of like it. It makes it easier to understand also the connection between the different revenue channels, using nearbound as terminology rather than partnerships, because partnerships could be so many things. It means different things for different people. There's a lot of SaaS companies out there calling all of their clients partners rather than paying customers. So that kind of confuses things. So I think using the terminology nearbound clarifies things.
So so you would say that they're kind of the same thing, or how would you, if you would explain the concept nearbound to me, like what it is in a bit more detail. That would be really interesting because I've heard it, but I haven't been diving so deep into it. So always keen to learn about the latest buzzwords.
Yeah, no, I think that the actual sort of formal explanation on what nearbound revenue is leveraging the power of your ecosystem. So the companies, close to you, near to you, to influence the entire revenue funnel from lead acquisition to customer retention. That for me is nearbound in a nutshell.
And going into partners again there, because I do fully agree like that having a partner program, like even if it's maybe not the first thing you do, like when you're two people, you're just getting started, like that really depends on what leverage do you have when you get started, and you build on that. But one thing there, like once you have it, I would say like actually activating partners. I know that that's something that you've been talking a lot about, being kind of customer first, thinking about partners and how you can work together towards a common goal. But I still know that that's something that is, I mean, it's difficult internally to do it, like with employees, with different teams to have one goal from like product, sales, marketing. Doing that with partners, that feels really difficult. Or what do you say?
Yes and no, I think. I think it's something that a lot of partner managers miss out on. And I think it comes from a very sort of human aspect of in us all that is, driven by sort of my own agenda. And trying to apply my goals and my OKRs and my KPIs on my partner is never going to work. I need to be a really, really good listener and understand, like, in depth my partner's drivers and goals and KPIs and OKRs and apply that to our partnership. Because if I can't prove to the partner how our partnership is going to help them reach their goals, it's going to be really difficult to have a partner that wants to be an advocate for my company or my product. So I think that that's probably the most important work you do as a partner manager is in depth, sitting down, listening, understanding my partner's business goals, and translating that to our partnership, and then showing the partner how our partnership will help them reach their goals.
Yeah, I think that thing you mentioned with it's so important, like with like don't apply your targets on the partner, also because they're going to feel it. Like if you communicate with your partners and all you care about is how the partner can help you close your number or get your number, they're going to shine through and it's not going to feel that you actually care. They're just going to be feeling like some kind of a means to an end that are just there because I might be able to make some money from it. And I think I've definitely had that kind of partner programs that I've been involved in. And it's not the kind of engagement that works the best. I mean,
the sort of human aspect that I talked about, the sort of egotistical side of things is always going to be there, right? So my goals, me and my business is always going to be what's the most important for me. And it doesn't matter if it's, I'm on the sort of partner side or on the owner side of things. So you have to try and sort of translate your own agenda to fit with the partner's agenda.
And I think with that as well, so looking below, like, or kind of one step further past the kind of the goals, of course, and like what in terms of like kind of expectations set is then, but of course, if you have a partner program, there is no expectations from either end. Again, I don't think it's kind of a good partner program. So how do you find like a way to do that in a good way and kind of formalize it so you know it, but the team also know it, like all the partner reps know it, and the different partners know it as well, like that kind of expectation setting bit?
Yeah, we've tried a few different approaches here. For the longest time, we tried to make it part of the contract to actually, have an open discussions about it really, really early on in the partnership. That did not really work out super well for us because it was a bit premature to have those kind of discussions. We hadn't really tried out the partnership, so it all became very hypothetical. Like, yeah, sure, this is what we would like to, but we have no idea of how connected these expectations are to what we're actually going to get out of it.
It's like building a sales process before you actually sold something.
Exactly.
And trying to,
Exactly. So I think, the first step is of course qualifying the partner. I mean, that's step one in order to align on goals, right? Because if you bring in a partner that should not be qualified to be in your partner program, then you're never going to align on goals. So that's, a good qualification process is key. And then I think you just iterate. Don't make it too complicated. Don't overdo it with goals. Keep it simple and transparent. As you say, like have a shared document where you both can input. It could be simple things like to-do lists or just like a timeline. This is what we want to do within the first 6 months of this partnership. And it could be anything from, a technical onboarding with the consultants to a LinkedIn post and closing our first joint customer to something way more sort of detailed and fine-grained. But I think, that's my tip and something that I would probably do different if I could redo my own partner program. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple and just make sure that you talk about it in every conversation. You have that document. I have a little template in the team where we do all communication and anything from sort of lead sharing and kickback reports to to-do lists and timelines. And we have that as a shared doc with everybody at the partners. And you bring it up in all conversations all the time. So we're aligned on what we're doing here.
But you're also going for more like less partners, not as much volume, right? So that would be kind of your approach, is my understanding, like less volume and more closer relationships.
Again, I think it depends on the partner type. I mean, I think that there is sense in doing quantity over quality for certain partners. Like if you want to go for affiliate, my personal opinion is that I think that it's been inflation in affiliate partner programs. I don't really think that they have any effect anymore. I don't think that it fits with how companies buy things these days. I don't think affiliate market partnerships is valuable. I mean, sure, can bring some brand awareness maybe, and it's a good marketing channel, but from a partnership perspective, don't know. But yeah, sure, like a very simple referral partner program that's all about getting as many leads into the funnel as you possibly can. Should keep it simple. Like but there, I don't think that aligning on goals is what is going to make the partnership a success or not. I think that is way more qualifying the partner, making sure that you align on ICPs, and that you're always top of mind with a partner. That's how you're going to increase the quantity of leads from your referral partners. But if you're talking, deeper relationship, more qualitative partnerships, alignment, transparency, keeping it simple, and really understanding each other's businesses, especially, me as a partner program owner, understanding my partner's business.
No, it's definitely interesting with what you mentioned there with the affiliate, because I can definitely see that. Like, we are affiliate with a few different things, but we're not really doing anything with it. No. It's more like, oh yeah, it's free to sign up. Maybe we get someone every now and then. So for, at least in my experience, like we've only actually leveraged the partnerships where it's building on our business. So it's something that would enhance the services for our customers. It's something that they would actually be able to use and that makes sense for our specific business case. And then in those cases, having a partner that can really help you understand how to sell it, how to position it. And as you mentioned there with the ICP, like, what should we look out for when kind of potentially positioning, for example, Oneflow as a solution? That really helps just understanding what it is and how to use it and where to position it. So I think that close collaboration and having expectations aligned, it's super, super, super important. Question on that though. What's your opinion on, like, when in terms of expectations, like some partner programs you have to pay for and some you don't. Some partner programs you get the tool for free. Some places you get the tool, but you have to pay for it. Like, what's your take on that? Like, like, how do you think is the best way to do it, if there is such a thing?
Yeah, I don't know if
No.
there's a simple answer to this. I think it feels very old school to have partners pay for your partner program. It feels like something, the old enterprise companies in the mid 90s started doing to, I guess, get partners to um, show dedication, show that they, meant it by actually paying this fee. It doesn't have to be a high fee, but just showing that we're in it. We're meeting business, and that for me feels very old school. I think having a monetary part to a partnership is important, but it should be based off of results rather than just a flat fee for being part of the partner program. But sure, I could see businesses where it made sense, but then that would be the less, quantity over quality kind of partner programs, where it would make sense in my world. So, as far as sort of, paying for the tool or getting it for free, that is also like, depends, right? Depends on the partner, how strategically important this is. One thing that we talked about before this recording was how you get partners to become advocates for your solution. And there, I think, the usage is one thing that ties really closely into that. And I guess, like, how important is it for me to have this partner as an advocate for my tool? And that's kind of what's going to decide whether or not it's important what I also invoice this partner, or if it's the actual usage that I'm after. But again, I also think that it can make sense to charge your partner for using your tool to show that they mean business, that they're in it, and that they also kind of believe in the solution, because at the end of the day, they're going to recommend my solution to their customers, right? So I would love for them to show me that they also love my tool, right? But I think there's no one answer fits all here. I think it's going to be case by case evaluation.
I think also what you talked about before, like not trying to overcomplicate it, not trying to predict everything and know everything from day one, because you're most likely going to have some things right and a lot of things wrong when you get started. So having a good hypothesis, like what it's aligned with what we think it should be, and starting with that, with a clear hypothesis, and then also being ready to say, like, well, that was right, that was wrong. And also what you mentioned there, and yeah, we talked about before, I thought either you were going to talk about your favorite color, which I also asked you, or that. But yeah, I think that was a question that makes a little bit more sense. That was just where my head went first. But the whole advocate thing there as well is difficult. I kind of, yeah. Let's actually go into that a bit with the advocates. So say that I'm a new partner, like you're starting a new partner program. I'm a new partner that comes in. Like, what would be your strategy as a partner manager, knowing what you know now? A really good way to do that. I know it's going to be a lot of different things that plays into that, but what would be some things that you will be doing to try to turn someone into an advocate? You mentioned tool usage, but let's just have it as an open conversation and see where it takes us.
No, but I think that first off, you need to make the partner excited about your product, right? Because we're talking about partner programs from a SaaS kind of perspective. So if the partner or the potential partner is not excited about your product, it's going to be difficult to build off of something, right? But I mean, usually when you initially discuss a potential partnership with a partner, you're discussing it with stakeholders that later on will not necessarily impact the success of the partnership. They're only, business owners or decision makers. So I think that the most important thing you can do is to sort of make the relationship as strong as you possibly can by involving multiple teams. So if it's only partner manager to partner manager, the relationship is going to be really, really fragile, and it's going to be very difficult for me as a partner manager to make multiple people within my partner's organization to become advocates at Oneflow. But if I, as a partner manager, involve my customer success team with the sales team at the partners, and my support team with the client solutions team at the partner, or I involve multiple teams and spread sort of the evangelism journey within my organization to the partner, then you will create advocates.
That's super interesting. Like you mentioned there with so like looking at the different teams. So how would you say, like, let's say from a sales, then maybe from a marketing, and then from potentially kind of a customer success and customer service, like how would you kind of do it in more detail with those different, like in the beginning, to get some of those kind of quick wins, get some excitement going?
Yeah, but I think, once the contract is signed, because I usually talk about partnerships being reverse sales. Getting partners to sign partner contracts is fairly easy, something that is very difficult in sales. But then, actually enabling and activating the partnerships, that's where the difficult part comes in, right? But I think using the momentum of, okay, hey, we're now partners, we've signed the contract, and actually having a plan for what's going to happen after you sign the contract with the partner is also important. So like, we've already scheduled a training session with the sales team. We've already planned a little marketing thing with a LinkedIn post that we're going to share that and make the partnership official. Like, we have a few sort of to-do steps that will take place as soon as the contract is signed and the partnership is activated. Is super important. That also makes the partner invest time in the partnership and involve relevant people. So very naturally for me to then, introduce my marketing manager to the marketing manager with the partner. I usually try to bring on a sales rep to an onboarding session with a sales team with my partner, because they talk the same language, right? And it's also in the sales rep's interest to get to know all of the sales reps with my partner, to drive leads, to talk about joint projects, to bring leads to the sales reps at my partners. So I think that's my tip. Early on, try and schedule some activities that quite naturally makes introductions between relevant stakeholders within my organization and my partner's organization. And that's going to create a good foundation for that potential.
No, I think like what you mentioned there with like connecting people that speak the same language, like a marketer from your company, from Oneflow, with a potential partner, sales with sales and things like that. So because we can all learn from each other, we can all like leverage each other, and it's a new contact. I think there's so many benefits there also for every person involved to just learn. And so I think that's such an important part of this, that you're literally like, you can increase your own skill sets, you can increase your leverage, and there's so many positive things involved in it. So I think it's a really, really important point with that kind of connecting, not just sales.
No, and it also creates a really strong partnership, because then the relationship is not just dependent on me as a partner manager with whomever I, started up this partnership with at my partners. So independently of what happens with me, like, that's for me how I measure a really, really successful partnership, is where I can take myself out of the equation and I still have growth. I don't have to do anything, because it's a self-moving machinery, where, sales reps share leads with sales reps, marketeer to marketeer, they're planning campaigns and events and doing things together because they help each other reach their individual goals. That's when, you have a really successful partnership in place.
Do you have a lot of assets and resources that partners can use, or do you do it more uniquely per partner. And what's your opinion on that? Like having a bunch of kind of pre-made material that you can relabel, things like that.
Again, keep it simple. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, to be fair, I think that sales and marketing material are slightly overrated because people tend to not use it. I think, 10 years ago, it was more important than it is now. I think it can be a support, but it tends to be forgotten, and it tends to just lie there and it doesn't get updated. So sure, something, but keep it simple.
I think that's such an important thing with everything we talked about today, is just like to kind of keep it simple and do it organically, connect different people, and you hire smart people. Hopefully the partner has some smart people, and having some kind of common goals, common expectations, and have something you can do together that both benefit from. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like the podcast we have right now, this episode, I mean, that's we are a Oneflow partner. I think you guys are doing a lot of good stuff. So we would love to kind of learn from you and speak to you as well. So it's really like an organic thing. I really think that's incredibly important, and more important now, as you mentioned as well, as time goes on. I think the kind of
yes, it's super important to like keep it simple, keep it organic, don't overcomplicate it. Like don't put all eggs in one basket, right? But also dare to invest in it. Because if you're a startup and you want to do partnerships, and when you want to start up a partner program, but you don't have a resource to do it, then the timing is off. You need to dare to invest resources to do it. Like you wouldn't start up a sales team and not hire a sales rep. You wouldn't start up a marketing channel to create inbound leads for you if you didn't have the resources to hire a marketeer. And same with partnerships. Like you can't start up a partner program if you don't have anyone to run it. So that's also like a tip from me, is like dare to invest the proper resources. Because if you start too organically and just, let everybody kind of own this thing that is nearbound, nothing will happen. Nothing will come out of it. So you have to have some dedicated resources if you want to see results.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point as well. Exactly that one. Like keeping it simple doesn't mean underinvest. It does not mean spending half an hour per week as an afterthought. It means don't make it more complicated than you have to get started. But you have to invest in it. And as you said in the beginning, like this is a big channel. Like you can have, how many people do you have? 4, I think, Oneflow, right?
Or how many? We're 5.
Five. Yeah. I mean, so it's, and HubSpot, they probably have 100 people. But so it's like, you can probably have a ton of people. Like it's not realistic to have one person doing this 5% of their time and thinking it's going to be anything. It has to be, I would say, like at least one person to get started for you to actually get results from it. It can't be a 50% position. Or maybe it can, but I don't think it's, then you're not really, like then you're kind of in the, how do you say, you're not in the deep side of the pool. You're just there touching the water a little bit, or some really bad example that I couldn't think about.
Yeah, but then you have to adjust your expectations, right? So if you have one person doing it 50% of the time, you're going to get 50% of the results. So, and I think as a SaaS company, that what you should be working towards is having nearbound be 30% of your revenue. So, I mean, that speaks for itself, right? If it's a third of your income, you should have a third of your commercial workforce working on it.
Yeah, no, I think that's some really good points here, and some a little bit controversial. I wonder if everyone agrees with that affiliate thing, but
probably not.
No, I mean, like the thing is, we're all talking about our experiences, right, from our perspective. So, and I do like people having specific takes because it makes life a lot more interesting. So we touched on it a little bit before, like if you would redo it. Like you mentioned, simplifying and starting like not complicating things. Is there other things, like knowing what you know now, that you would do differently if you could go back? You can, of course, but if you could.
Yeah, but I think it ties into what we've already been discussing. Because I mean, as I said, I've been here for a really long time, and we've always worked with partners. During my 8 years here at Oneflow, we always worked with partners, but it started out as an afterthought, and we didn't have dedicated resources for it. We still said we had a partner program, and you could still partner up with Oneflow, but we didn't have a dedicated partner manager. So I would hire the resources to actually do it sooner. Maybe not, straight from the start, but probably like around the time that 6 years ago then. I took over the partner team 3 years ago. And that's really when we started putting the proper resources into getting proper results. So in 3 years, we've gone from one person, which was me, to 6 people, 7 actually, because we also have a partner marketing manager. And yeah, so I would put the proper resources into it sooner, because it takes time to build a successful partner ecosystem. And if you want results, you have to have people doing the actual work. The results is not going to come from themselves.
I love it. So completely different question, but one question that we always ask in the end of each episode. So what's one learning or insight that has significantly changed your perspective on business and or life in the recent years, month, whatever time frame you want to have it in?
But I think I have a very unique perspective in the sense that I've been with Oneflow for such a long time, which is quite uncommon in the SaaS startup world. We were 5 people when I joined the company. We're 220 with offices in 7 countries today. So that in itself has been a huge learning experience. But we've also had a pandemic and an economic crisis on top of that. So I think, the biggest learning is that, like, there's so many things that I won't be able to control, that we won't be able to control, that is going to affect our growth and how our journey looks like. And to accept that and maybe even sort of leverage it as something potentially creatively positive, I think has been my biggest learning. Like, don't get scared when the boat rocks. The boat will rock and you can't control it. How you deal with the fact that the boat is rocking is what's gonna make it or break it for you.
I love it. So Emilia, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to be on this podcast. So where can people find you if they want to reach out, if they want to learn more about you and Oneflow?
Yeah, you are more than welcome to reach out. So send me a message on LinkedIn. You find me under Emilia Janis, or if you're a partner professional and part of the society or EUPC, please send me a Slack message in one of those channels, and I'm happy to discuss partnerships in more detail.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Emilia.
Thank you.